Edmund, but it's usually called Ed Penrose. I'm the treasurer and the premises manager in a voluntary capacity. While it's called a museum and archive, we are more an archive than a museum. For instance, for 2013 and the centenary, the lockout, people came looking for stuff from 1913 that we might have, items, forgetting that in 1916, Liberty Hall, which was the headquarters for the lockout, had been destroyed by bombing, so not an awful lot survived. We were lucky, one or two items did survive, and during the centenary, for instance, one of the food tickets, I got a phone call in November that someone's grandaunt had died, and they had found this original food ticket in our possession, and they asked, did we want it? My answer was, I'm in the car on the way over to collect it right away. But the majority of our stuff is archive, would be consisting of paperwork from Irish Transport General Workers, NATE, Irish Women Workers Union is the most used archive over the last 10 years that researchers have come in to check up on. Also then there would be individuals like Cathal O'Shannon, John de Courcy Ireland, Brannigan, who was involved with the shipping. Quite a few individuals. They would be smaller items, but some of them very, very important items, unique items. For instance, as well, last year we got in things, and when I was looking through, there was an original letter from the 26th of August 1913, signed by Jim Larkin, saying, strike now on, strike immediately. Unique. We have that here. Often, that's why if someone rings up and says, I say, yes, I'll take it. You can always find a small gem in it. And that's why I never refuse anything. We can go through it. There will be quite a number of unique things in that sphere. As I've said to people coming in, we don't always know what exactly we have, but that's why they give us information. I can tell immediately stuff that we don't have. It's the reverse, you know, that I know, okay, we don't have such and such a year on such and such a subject. And then you can look through to find exactly what they might be looking for, you know. It's hit and miss, but it works. At least the main thing is we've saving stuff. And that's why, as I said earlier, I say yes, before they've even asked the question, you know, that we take it in, and because there's always, you can always find a little gem in each. And that's why, in some respects, that we're running out of space, because we have so much. Maynooth College, for some reason, mostly Maynooth, they have been females and they've been looking at Irish Women Workers Union. I tried to steer them on to certain aspects of it. For instance, one day I had 2 students in on the exact same thing, but they were from different year classes, looking at exactly, mostly Irish Women Workers Union. If you look through our visitors book downstairs, some of the comments from the people, and it gives you an idea of who has come and gone through the premises. We don't have much space. We do need to go through a lot of the items that we have, which I started to do. For instance, we had papers which in the 20 odd years I've been here have not been sought out at all. So I've been making room to get more stuff which would be of more importance within the labour movement. My favourite item, that's very hard to say, there's so many items of interest. I mean, my problem years ago when before I was retired, I used to just come in on a Friday and a Saturday, and I'd be walking through a box. 2 hours or 3 hours later, I'd still be on the same box. There was such items of such interest. I can't think of any one item. There's such a vast range of items. I'll tell you a kind of funny one. In the Irish Women Workers Union payment book, I was looking through it. I was a printer originally, and my wife worked with me, and that's where we met. And I was looking through one of the old books, and I found that she was the person bringing the payments down every Monday to the union office I worked in Dakota Printers at the time. And because she was the one going down, they called her the shop steward. So in fact, she was shop steward and more involved in unions before me, and she's younger than me. Well, if people want to, if they can ring in or go to our website and send us an email. I prefer an email so that I can check whether we have items of relevance to them, so that we can have them out, rather than them coming and then trying to find stuff for them. So a list, and you have to often ferret out from them precisely what, particularly researchers, they just pick an item like Irish Women Workers Union. But I try to find out what they actually have in their head that they might wish to pursue. That will cut out a lot of wasted time on their part as well as ours. And it means that we can source more items of relevance too. They might be just picking a certain theme. Sometimes you prefer people who are raw to the subject because you can bring them along, hopefully, and whet their appetite, whereas academics are already set out in their mind what they may perceive that they want, you know, whereas fresh minds, particularly, I'd like to see youngish people coming in, working on theses, that you can bring them along and hope to give them more interest in it. And it has worked over the years. It has worked. And the same for a staff member that we had. Actually, his grandfather was the first president here, and he came on board community employment, and he was on it for 2 years. And I was talking to him about a 3rd year, and he said no. He went to UCD and studied research. And studied archival stuff. He's now working full-time in the National Archive. It's someone that we gave him stuff and whetted his appetite. That's success, as far as we're concerned. That we're widening the knowledge of people on labour history. Labour history was being ignored for so long. It's not part of any curriculum.